So 1865 Project.
which you were the first,
Let's
the
talk about
first member of 1865 Project. I shouldn't be telling this business, $1 million. Because of that, 10 million other people, $10 million from other donors rolled in because him and his wife stepped up. I tell you, I love you, man. I want your phone number, your home number, your social security number.
You got it all. You got it all. But what was
birthday.
the vision? What was the impetus behind the 1865 Project? And then we'll talk about what you just described as Hope Inside, what's happening in the Fairfield community right here as a result of 1865. But let's talk about what it is. What was 1865?
So 1865 was the year that, so I'm the only American, I don't like saying my name in that way, but on this particular case, I'm actually proud to say this. I'm the only American citizen ever to trigger the renaming of a building on the White House campus in the history of the country. It was called the Treasury Annex Building, but it was the original location of the Freedmen's Bank, which Abraham Lincoln signed into law on his last day of his first term, March 3rd, 1865, chartered to teach free slaves about money, financial literacy. And unfortunately for him, he also promised blacks the right to vote. So he had provided 40 acres, January 1865. Secretary of War Stanton and General Sherman did that in Savannah, Georgia. And then that triggered the mule in February 1865 because they were so industrious. They said, give them a mule. And then the next month, they created the bank. And the next month, Lincoln was assassinated. So this bank fell into disrepair. Frederick Douglass, the Carter G. Woodson, of 20 years before that, 30 years before that, he tried to run the bank. Unfortunately, it didn't succeed. He was also a capitalist. People don't know that Frederick Douglass owned $8 million worth of rental real estate in Baltimore, Maryland. So that's why they gave them the financial freedom to be an abolitionist. It's no different than you have the financial freedom to run a university. Right. So, and all money is freedom. So I was inspired by this story. It connected for me because I'm thinking, why haven't African Americans, now I'm committed to poor whites and Native American Indians and Asians and Indians and middle class. My work is for everybody. But clearly I'm African American, so that's the base. And I couldn't figure out, why is it that smart people, African Americans, why are we not capitalists? Why are we not owning the mic, not just rocking it? I couldn't figure it out. This made perfect sense to me. We were given freedom without the tools to be free. And then Abraham Lincoln tried to do this, and he was assassinated. And the first Reconstruction was all that 40 acres and a mule. People don't know it was reversed. 2 years after Lincoln was assassinated, the land was given back to the segregationists who owned the land in the first place. So and then you had the Homestead Act, which took 10% of all American land, 270 million acres of land, and gave it to anybody willing to go west. And that was 160 acres per plot. Well, 99.9% of all those were white settlers. And the government actually helped them to settle this land and teach them how to farm. And that's where 100 million people of wealth get their wealth today, is the Homestead Act. So a lot of folks got and you had the Marshall Plan in the after World War II, the GI Bill. So there's all these step-ups for most of Americans. African Americans got a step down, really, and they stepped in the mud, and they didn't have this lesson in financial literacy. So 1865 Project is a homage. It is an homage to that era and that moment, and Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, a black man and a white man working together, Republican and Democrat, conservative and liberal, black and white, rich and poor, finding common ground in 1865.
Right.
And I was inspired by that. It's unfinished work. So I feel that Hope Inside is a continuation and hopefully a finalization of that unfinished work of the Freedmen's Bank.